Welcome to Python for Introductory Statistics. In this video, we'll learn how to use Python for testing a hypothesis about the mean using the z-test. So let's look at this example. It says the president of a company claims that the average number of minutes employees waste time surfing the internet is more than 100 minutes a day. The population number of hours wasted is normally distributed with a standard deviation of 10 minutes. A random sample of 19 employees from this company has a mean of 105 minutes. Do this sample data provide evidence that the mean wasted time for this company is more than 100 minutes? So there's a lot of information given. So how we'd set it up is that the claim is more than 100. So we'll set up the null and the alternative as 100, but the alternative is greater than 100 because that's what this president is claiming. Now, the rest, we're told that the population number of hours wasted is normally distributed and it has a standard deviation of 10. So sigma is 10. And then 19 employees were selected. So sample size is 19. And then the average that they wasted for this 19 is 105, which means the sample mean is 105. So the alternative is greater. So we're going to need this information when we're about to use a function that's already built in. So we don't need to write a long line of code. So what I would like you to do is go to chapter 10. No, this is chapter 11, section 1, hypothesis testing for the mean. And there is a function here that will do this test. So let's copy this and bring it into our Google Colab notebook. And it says that it needs the following. It needs the null mean, the sigma, the sample mean, the sample size, alternative, and so on. Now, remember, the alternative is by default two-sided if you don't give. But in our case, it's not, so we'll change it. So let's run this, and it's running well. So now let's copy the name of this function, and then we'll provide the information that's useful for this particular example. So the null mean is 100, remember? And then the sigma, which is the population standard deviation, is, I believe, 10 in our example. You can go ahead and read it. And then the sample size that was selected was 19. No, that's the sample mean, sorry. The sample mean is 105. And then the sample size n is 19. And the alternative is not two-sided. In this case, it's greater than, so which is, we're going to choose greater. So you have to remember that the word greater needs to be typed in here to show that it's a right-tail test. And then we have to close this in parentheses and run this. And here it is. So it gave us the z-test statistic is 2.179 and so on, and the p-value is 0.014. So at a 5%, obviously this p-value is less, so you would reject the null hypothesis. So we could have written this code one at a time, but it would be taking more time. We needed to focus on the statistics, so you can copy and paste this function, and it will give you the most important result, which is the z-test statistic and the p-value.